love to film this sitting down, but alas, I have a newborn, and if I sit for too long, she fusses, she stirs. Let's make sure that it's either too bright or not bright enough. I was actually able to get ready today, so that's a plus. But I wanted to just film a quick video because I'm feeling a little spicy today. It's the first day of Mercury retrograde. We also have like 5 other planets that are retrograde, including Venus, planet of love. So I wanted to film a video about postpartum and the journey postpartum. And I think this is kind of going to turn into more of a things that new moms wish they could talk more openly about being postpartum, or things that they kind of wish that their partner knew. Because oftentimes we tend to feel like we're a burden, right? So this is not aesthetic at all, but I wrote down my notes because I don't want this to be super chaotic, and I'd like to keep all of my thoughts in, I don't know, in order as much as I possibly can. So these are just some things that I obviously didn't know about postpartum and the postpartum journey and having a newborn. Let's just get into it. So the first thing that is just mind-boggling to me, just about our society in general, and we're gonna get into kind of like just the patriarchal society, right? Because a matriarchy is totally different. It is just baffling to me, mind-boggling to me, that not only does the woman have to carry the baby for 9 months, but then is just like the primary caregiver in terms of, you know, producing the breast milk and just the bond that you have with the baby, right? I totally get it and I understand it, and logically it makes sense. But I'm at a point right now where I'm like, I carried her for 9 months, and currently she's in a leap according to the Wonder Weeks app, and she's in the fussy phase. And so not only did I have to carry her for 9 months, but now I'm having to carry her postpartum as well. That was something I was not fully prepared for, and especially with this particular leap, this fuzzy phase, this is like an all-day thing. And I had a C-section, and one of the big things about having a C-section, because your core is just shot to shit, let's be honest, like your inner core, is back problems. And so I'm already experiencing the back issues even more so now because I'm having to carry her all day. And she's, you know, she's almost 10 pounds at this point. She's almost 10 pounds. So it's an additional 10 pounds on top of the weight that I had already had gained being pregnant, which for me, I gained like 60 pounds. Fortunately, I lost 30 of that as soon as I had her, but that's still an additional 30 pounds now plus almost 10. So I've got 40 extra pounds that I'm just carrying around, and my back hurts. So note to the partners out there, when you can baby wear your baby, please do that and give your partner, your wife, whoever, some relief, right? Because my back is killing me. Second thing, with breast milk and pumping, if you are wanting your baby to have breast milk and your partner is pumping, make sure she has the time to pump. I can't pump with her like this. I can't put the pumps on. Her head is literally right where the pumps would go. That would be incredibly uncomfortable for her and also loud. So again, if you want your baby to have breast milk, you need to make sure that there are opportunities for your partner to be able to pump. Let's talk about the night shifts. Take turns with the night shifts. Take turns, because not only, for instance, am I carrying her, wearing her all day long, taking care of her, changing the diapers, feeding her, pumping the milk, cleaning the bottles, all this kind of stuff, right? But then I'm not getting regular sleep. My sleep is very broken. So I'm tired. That makes me overstimulated. That makes me even more overwhelmed. With the night shifts, take turns. And I understand if you work, I get it. I know what it's like to work a corporate job. It sucks being tired. But also with a lot of like corporate jobs, it's mentally demanding, but it's not physically demanding. And I can guarantee you, your partner is running around the house, doing household chores, cleaning the house, doing the laundry, doing the dishes, cooking the meals, picking stuff up off the floors constantly, which by the way, I did not realize how much we bend down to pick things up, or Like, I literally can't do that. Even the dishwasher, unloading that, if you have a top loading washing machine, having to reach in there, like, I literally can't do it with her. There's so many things that I'm so limited and restricted with what I can do around the house. But I am literally on my feet all day. And also I'm on my feet not only doing stuff around the house to make sure that it gets done, but also because I can't sit without her fussing. And my back hurts. Again, we're gonna throw that out there. Yes, you will be tired at work, but I'm exhausted all day long because if I'm not wearing her or I'm not taking care of her, then I'm pumping for her. Like, there is nothing about my schedule, my time that is my own anymore. So just something to keep in mind. Let's talk about just working a job. So first of all, the single moms and also the single moms who also are working moms, I praise be to you. Like, I have no idea how you do it. I have no idea how you do it. I have worked a soul-sucking, draining, mentally overloaded corporate job before. So I've done that. And then I'm also doing motherhood and doing postpartum and doing the newborn thing. And I can tell you right now, this is harder. This is way harder because, again, with the corporate job, at least you were able to, I don't know, go use the restroom. Like, have a restroom break, have a full 8 hours of the day where, yes, people are calling you or they're messaging you or they're emailing you or you're in meetings, right? But there's a different kind of need, of urgency when there's a newborn. It's like, if I'm not there immediately, she's screaming her head off. At least in a corporate setting, you are around mostly level-headed people and you're not having to deal with that, the overstimulation of just having a baby, because babies, they don't know, right? They don't know that they're overstimulating you. They don't know that it's, you know, it's just their way of communicating. So again, I have worked the soul-sucking, draining corporate job, and I am also now 2 months into postpartum, newborn life, motherhood. And I can tell you right now, this is 1,000 times harder than working a corporate job. Period. The end. End of story. Next thing, there is no village. There is no village. And even if there was a village, there is no one that I would trust to take care of her. I mentioned this in a previous vlog where the advice that people are giving to sleep when the baby sleeps is just incredibly unrealistic and needs to stop being said, because newborns sleep like 17 to 18 hours a day. I don't need that much sleep. And also, there are things that need to get done, and when you are exclusively pumping, the time that she's using to sleep when I'm not baby wearing her is the time that I need to use to pump. And if I'm not pumping, then I'm cleaning the bottles, cleaning the parts, putting them back together, reassembling them so that way I can pump for the next time that she goes to sleep. So it's just like this continuous cycle. There is no time for sleep. Next, in this postpartum journey, we see the same walls every single day. It's don't get me wrong, it's a blessing to be able to stay home and to be with her, but shit gets old after a while. Seeing just the same thing day in and day out, not really leaving the house. This would be different if we lived somewhere else and it wasn't the middle of summer right now. I don't think it would be this bad because I am going a little bit stir crazy. It's like 108 degrees here in Texas. It has not rained. Like, it is so hot here and it's just uncomfortable for both of us. I don't want to be outside. I tried taking her out once, even in the car, and it's still just so hot. Like, the car can't even cool down enough to make us feel comfortable. It's just miserable. I would rather keep her in, you know, at home in air conditioning. So again, to the partners out there, your partner is seeing the same walls every single day, and it's like the same routine every single day, and it can become very monotonous and kind of like robotic, where she's just running on autopilot. So there needs to be something, at least one thing a day, that's just a little bit different to kind of shake up the energy. Otherwise, you're going to have a very, very unhappy, miserable partner who is just going to shut down emotionally and not communicate with you. Next is also for the partners, is to please, please, please do what is asked of you when it is asked of you. None of this, like, this waiting to finish what you're doing or or waiting to do whatever has been asked of you to do, because I can guarantee you with the baby, like for instance, I am using the most of her sleep windows and the most of her wake windows. Like I have a schedule and things where I'm like, bam, bam, bam. These are the things that need to get done in this time period. So that way I can actually have some time to, I don't know, go for a walk later, or write, or get a workout in, or do something, like even shower, for crying out loud, right? Like just to be able to do something for myself. I have these things that need to get done in this order, in this certain block of time. And once that block of time is gone, it's gone, right? And then I have to wait for the cycle to start over again to do whatever that thing was, when that time was going to be used for something for me. Next thing, this goes for, I feel like, everybody just in the household, family members, your partner. Do not comment on her emotions. Just do not do it. Especially if you have never been pregnant before, if you don't understand hormones and hormonal cycles, if you've never been in the postpartum journey before, just do not comment on her emotions. There is a lot that is brought up during pregnancy, just in terms of emotional wounds, childhood trauma, shadows, just kind of like that inner work, right? A lot of that is brought to the surface while you're pregnant, and it doesn't go away postpartum. And so I feel like for some reason pregnant women almost get like a pass if they have an emotional outburst, or if they seem really hormonal, or if they're kind of snappy or short with someone, because it's like, oh well, like they're pregnant. But suddenly postpartum, you've just gone through this massive life change and have a wound inside your body the size of a dinner plate from where your placenta was, and your hormones are like just all over the place still, because they're trying to regulate, and yet you're supposed to just be this like even keel, totally cool, everything's good, I'm not pregnant anymore, so I'm good emotionally. Absolutely not. It's not at all what it's like. It is such a roller coaster. I feel like I am more emotional now postpartum than I was during my pregnancy. Next thing, let's talk about food and water. So something that you can do to support your postpartum partner is to make sure that their water is always full, because if she is breastfeeding or she is pumping, she needs to be hydrated AF in order to get, keep the milk flowing, keep the supply going. Same with food. There is a sort of mental load that comes with just being a woman in general, but also in the postpartum journey. So if there's anything you can do related to food to help relieve that mental load, even if it's picking out the recipe or stopping by the grocery store to pick up the couple of things that are needed in order to make said recipe. This doesn't necessarily mean you have to cook it, but like just making sure that that's there, right? Because that decision-making process is, again, a part of the mental load. For me personally, crock pot meals have been just a lifesaver, like going into our grocery store app on Sunday and then getting everything we need, having all the recipes already picked out, those crock pot recipes, and then just listing out the ingredients and making sure that we have everything for that week, because then I can literally just grab the crock pot, throw everything in there, and then dinner will be ready and I don't even have to think about it. The other thing I would recommend is getting her what she needs in order to optimize her time. My husband got us a countertop dishwasher that is just used for bottles and pump parts, and when I tell you it is my favorite and best investment so far, like baby wise, hands down the best investment, because not only is it reducing the mental load for me, but it's also giving me some time back. Okay, and then the last thing I want to mention, which is pretty obvious, is to communicate. Because I can tell you right now, she already feels like a burden. She feels a bit confused and lost because nothing feels like her own anymore. Her time is not her own, her schedule is not her own, her body is not her own. There are so many things that have shifted dramatically for her just in the postpartum world. And so communicating is something that I feel like is going to be a bit harder for her to do, especially when it comes to her emotions and the emotional support that is needed. The best way I can put it is that with 9 months of pregnancy and then going into postpartum, she is just so dysregulated, and she's trying to figure out how to regulate herself, how to regulate her emotions and her thoughts and her mind and just her overall presence and sense of being. Again, with the communication in line with that is just emotional support, because just remember, the baby cannot take care of itself, right? Because it's just a little baby. And so she primarily is the primary person who is taking care of the baby. If you're in a situation like I'm in, where my husband works full-time and then I'm here at home full-time, the baby cannot take care of itself. And so she is taking care of the baby, but who is taking care of her? No one. And as women, I do feel like we are quite selfless creatures. I think pregnancy is a prime example of that, just giving every part of you to literally grow a human being inside of you. No one is looking after your partner, and oftentimes she forgets to look after herself. And so and again, I know it's a lot. It's a lot. But it's just like it's the little things. Truly, it's making sure that the water is filled. It's making sure that if she's breastfeeding or pumping or feeding the baby, that, she has a snack if she's hungry. It's just popping in to check on her and make sure that everything's good. It's asking questions about her day and how things could be better and how there could be more support, right? So all of that's the emotional support piece that I just do feel like, I hate to say this, but in such a patriarchal society, it's not something that is taught at all. And it's something that definitely has to be learned and cultivated. So again, no one is looking after her because she is looking after the baby. So if you can be there for her in that way, I can guarantee you that you will continue to have a strong and healthy marriage. And with that being said, the little one is starting to stir, so I think it's about time to go eat. But thank you so much for watching, and I hope that the intention behind making this video was not to gripe about the postpartum journey, although it may have come across that way. I don't know. I'm filming this during Mercury retrograde, like I said, so who knows how it's coming across. Either way though, I just hope that this helps someone out there, or if there is someone who's going through postpartum right now who isn't able to express themselves or talk to their partner for whatever reason, hopefully they can send them this video, show them this video, and hopefully there are some things that I mentioned that if you're also struggling with, hopefully I did a good enough job to get those things across and to communicate them clearly. I just want to close this video out by saying that you deserve help and support, and to be able to communicate and feel safe and secure in doing so. I want you to know, if you are going through the postpartum journey, that you are important. You matter. Your needs and your wants and your basic humanness, being able to function right every single day, you deserve all of that. And so if you need support, I know it is so hard. I hate asking for help. I hate it so much that I will just continue to suffer in silence. But it's something that I feel like I've had to learn, and I'm better for it being able to ask for help, even if it's not received in the way that I would hope that it would be received. Usually it is, right? But I feel like we build it up in our heads like someone's gonna say no, or is gonna make you feel guilty for asking for help, or gonna make you feel like more of a burden. But just know that you are worthy and deserving of having that support, and again, being able to communicate your needs and to not be judged or shamed or ridiculed or anything like that for having those needs, because this is freaking hard. This is hard. It's allowed to be hard, right? It is allowed to be hard, and that is okay. So that's all I've got. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you in my next video.